Okay guys, so we have the chapter summary for edenszero chapter 194. Now, I don't really talk that much about the spoilers for edenszero, but if you guys seen the leaked image that's been going around Twitter today, then you guys know the reason why I want to talk about it, because something happens near the end of this chapter that has really taken over the fandom, and is actually pretty incredible. So let's just jump right into the summary, which by the way, I got the summary from a Reddit user by the name of Sai10. They posted it up on Reddit, and they get full credit for the summary. I'm basically just reading what they posted. Okay, so this summary is not going to be the same kind of like format that the My Hero ones we've been going over have been. It's more in a like bullet point format, and it's not going to be as detailed, but we are going to get enough from these bullet points to basically piece together exactly what happens in the chapter in pretty much the order that it occurs. Anyway, it looks like the chapter actually starts off in Easy Hangar, which is actually where we left off in the last chapter. Clown and Killer talk about how to kill Lobelia. Killer wants to get it over with. Clown is obsessed with a more theatrical death. Actually kind of goes with their characters. Well, actually, you would think Killer would want to be a little bit more drawn out with how he kills her, but I guess he kind of just wants to get over with so he can get to his actual goal. Moscow and Couchbo come to rescue Lobelia and get Lobelia back safe. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting, especially because of the fact that Couchbo shows up. Because I actually was called out about it on Twitter not that long ago, in fact earlier this week, about how I kind of overhate on Couchbo, which I don't hate the character. I do like her as a character. I just don't think she has a real need to be on the team. Like, there's no reason for her to be aboard Eden's ship and be a part of the team if she doesn't really contribute anything. But I'm hoping that Hero actually does show her contributing something during this arc, like making the reason as to why she's here and a part of the team, besides helping Rebecca get popular as a beekeeper. Clown and Killer are specifically after Sister and Hermit. We kind of figured that already, saying it's the reason they were built. Again, we figured that from what happened in the last chapter, with what Brigadine told Homura. Moscow prepares to fight and nearly pushes the button, but Sister and Hermit stop him and get into their battle dresses. Okay, so we're getting right into the fight. Space above Lendard. LZ and Holly's crews bicker a little bit over Justice showing up. The IUA has been signaled that the EZ and LZ are allies. Victory, Eraser, Feather, and Cure. Wow, we didn't know Cure. We knew the rest of them were coming. We didn't know about Cure. Cure are there fighting the dragons. Cure's ship is called the Brain Dust. By process of elimination, Jaguar's ship may be Cobra based. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, I don't really see the need to put this little information about Jaguar considering he's dead. Unless it were going to be revealed later on that he didn't actually die during that fight. But if he actually is dead, then I guess there wasn't really a need to tell us really anything about his ship. I mean, I'm not sure if this is basically just the Redditor putting information in there, or just actually going to be something revealed in the chapter. If it's something that's going to be revealed in the chapter, then we don't really need it if he's already dead. Lendar at Elsie's side. Elsie brings up how she's chained up with barely any clothes. Justice blushes like a dork, and Elsie teases him. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of comedic information from these two. I actually kind of like getting to check in with them every now and then. Agnolia appears above, looking around for them. Justice leaves Elsie to scout ahead, showing no regard for her safety. I mean, let's see how the chapter plays out. Let's see when we actually read the chapter, because I kind of feel like, you know, him scouting ahead and leaving her behind was more to kind of like figure out exactly the situation, and you know, it was actually intended to protect her a little bit, because he might be leading Agnolia away from her. But let's see how the chapter actually plays out. Killer's Dimension. Shiki is running around the hospital trying to contact someone. He gets in touch with Pino, who's in a cage with Happy. She sends him directions to everyone. New memories fall into Shiki is Killer, and he's at a school as Hermit's senpai. Okay, this is actually kind of interesting, because some leaked images or some terms I heard going around on Twitter was that we got confirmed in this chapter that Killer and Hermit were actually siblings. But it looks like we're actually going to find out that they're not siblings, but you know, like senpai and kohai. Which falls in line with the kind of like close friendship slash possible romantic relationship that we've seen when it comes to all the other Shining Stars and Dark Stars have in their past memories. Their face marks are missing. Okay, that makes sense. That's something that Ziggy probably added on after they were turned into androids. Hermit and Killer talk about Ether and how Overdrive works, pushing Ether to the critical point. They theorize that if Ether is in everything, then literally anything, even a tiny rock, could OD. Okay, so a little bit of Hero is the god of foreshadowing. If you guys already know about the leaked image that's been going around Twitter, then you know exactly where this line of dialogue is leading to. Killer tries sending Sister and Hermit to separate dimensions, but Hermit cancels it. Killer brags that he doesn't need a battle dress to beat Hermit, revealing he can OD. Final page, Hermit reveals she can OD too, taking Killer by surprise. Chapter title, false story. Okay, so I didn't know about Killer, but seeing that Hermit could overdrive in this chapter is actually the big reveal that we got leaking around on Twitter right now. It's the big image that everyone's showing off. We get to see her in her overdrive, which actually looks like a bunny suit, which some Eagle Eye fans have actually called back to the fact that at some point, I believe Wise actually said that he wanted to see everyone or all the females in bunny suits. So this is kind of playing into her kind of relationship with Wise, like the kind of implied romantic relationship the two of them have, where her overdrive is actually based off of like a rabbit kind of theme. But yo, if you haven't seen the image, go look it up on Twitter, or if you want to just be surprised when you actually get to read the chapter, I believe on Tuesday or Wednesday, because it is dope. Her overdrive design looks so great. It is so well designed, and now on top of that, it's kind of like what happened with Wendy at some point. I believe at some point in Fairy Tail, Wendy kind of like aged up when she got a power up at some point. And the same thing happens to Hermit in this chapter when she activates her overdrive. She actually looks like she aged about 10 years. Honestly, no description I can give can do the design justice. Just go look it up on Twitter. You can easily find the image if you just do a quick search for edenszero spoilers, or just follow anyone who actually follows edenszero or covers edenszero, because they're all talking about it on Twitter right now and on Reddit. But yeah, this chapter is actually going to be pretty amazing, which actually the biggest shock for me is obviously the whole overdrive thing, the reveal of Hermit's overdrive form. But I had always assumed that only humans could overdrive because of the fact that it's kind of tied to ether gears, or at least we assumed it was tied to people who had ether gears. But apparently, as we're finding out in this chapter through the kind of like quick flashback that we're getting from Cheeky downloading Killer's memories, which by the way, I guess he's able to download his memories because he's in the dimension that Killer created, which again, I assume that Shiki's going to be trapped there until Killer's defeated, which looks like Hermit's going to be doing that in the next few chapters. But I assume because of their fact that they're androids and that they don't actually have ether gears, that, Hermit, Sister, Pino, all of them wouldn't actually be able to have an overdrive. But we're finding out in this chapter that they figured out a way to do it over the past 3 years, or at least Hermit has. But then again, given how close Hermit and Sister are, and the fact that Hermit would want to give Sister any possible advantage over being killed off by an enemy that she can, I have no doubt that Hermit would have taught Sister how to do an overdrive herself. Now, Killer, on the other hand, with how unconnected or unreally concerned with each other that it seems like the Dark Stars are, I would wholly believe that he did not tell Clown, Wizard, or Brigadine how to activate their overdrives. Now, maybe Brigadine might actually figure it out by himself. Maybe that's something we might get revealed during his fight with Homura. But I have no doubt that he probably is the only one out of the four of them that can actually activate an overdrive. We know Wizard can't, or we would have seen him do it against Shiki. But yeah, guys, that is it for the summary. I'm really looking forward to reading this chapter when it comes out and exactly getting more details about what happens, especially that little moment between LZ and Justice. I want to see if I can find it, if I can kind of imply from their like interaction and them kind of like figuring out that Agnolia is actually looking for them. If Justice leaving her behind is kind of like how the person who wrote the summary implied, that he's kind of leaving her behind without actually really caring if she actually gets hurt or not, or if he actually is kind of like doing the noble thing of trying to basically sacrifice himself or basically use himself as like a pawn or bait to lead her away so that LZ can actually rest up and actually heal properly. Let's see. I mean, I would think the latter because of the fact that he took the time to basically dress her wounds when he could just left her for dead or killed her himself or killed her himself. But yeah, let's see what happens when the chapter comes out. Anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.